Hey, welcome to Long Distance Sisters.
I'm Tori.
I'm McKenna.
And I'm Serena.
Come chat with us while we're far apart.
Okay, let's get started.
Welcome.
Oh gosh. Today we're going to talk about jerks.
No, we're going to discuss if someone is a jerk or if they're not. This is a popular Reddit thread called Am I the Asshole? Also, like a lot of podcasts have been doing this lately that I've been seeing. I don't know. I just like listen to Simply Podlogical and they always do it. But basically, it's people posting a situation that have happened in their lives. And then other Reddit users decide whether or not they were the asshole in that situation, or if the other people were the assholes in that situation. We each pulled up 2 different stories, and we're going to see if they're an asshole compared to the actual people's voted results. And yeah, and it all is related to long distance relationships, whether it's with a significant other. I pulled up one that has to do with friendships because we have long distance friendships. We also have long distance parents, which is probably more common, but some people like either still live with their parents or live close to them. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to see if people are assholes or not.
Yeah. And all 3 of us have been in long distance relationships. So we have grounds to speak on this and experience to pull from.
Emotions to pull from.
And long distance friendships and everything. So.
Okay. Our eldest, you may start.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay. Start us off with a probably easy one. Boy. Okay. Am I the asshole for not telling my long distance girlfriend that I tried cocaine? Me and my girlfriend have had a long distance relationship for about a year and a half. Works fairly well, and we see each other every 3rd week. Yesterday, she found out that I had tried cocaine at a party right after our relationship began. A friend of mine told her. The reason for me to hide it from her was to avoid the whole don't do drugs speech and for her to get mad at me. When I told her this, she says she's more mad now than she would have been if I told her. She says the fact that I've hidden it from her breaks the whole foundation of our relationship built on trust. She also uses the fact that I lied to say that she doesn't really know me and I must have other secrets too, when in fact I do not have any others.
You said he did that a week into their relationship?
No, he just said right after it began, like right after they started.
I mean, I'm not sure I would trust someone I just started dating enough to tell them if I tried cocaine.
Well, but it doesn't say just started dating. It says like their relationship. So like to me, that's like they declared each other boyfriend, girlfriend.
Well,
and I have
question. Okay, so they just start dating, and then the writer does cocaine and doesn't take his significant other or their significant other. And then it's been how long since that? How long have they been together?
A year and a half.
A year and a half.
But she recently found out.
I mean, it was a year and a half ago. Why would she give him, are those their pronouns? Is that okay?
It doesn't specify.
It says
she. It does say she.
Okay.
I don't know about the writer.
I mean, why would she give him that, like, don't do drugs spiel if it's been a year and a half and he hasn't done it since, and that was his first time trying? I
feel like that was his excuse at the time, like right after.
But yeah.
If it was just trying it once and like he's not going to do it again and it's not going to become part of who he is, and it's just after they started their relationship, I don't know. This might be one of those scenarios where neither of them are the asshole.
I mean,
I can't say
don't do cocaine. Nobody don't do cocaine.
That's not the question, isn't it?
Yes,
For doing
yes.
cocaine. It's for not telling his girlfriend that he did cocaine.
Yes, it is weird that it never came up.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Like
it-
it feels like he was hiding it.
Or that he
It doesn't
just,
feel like that.
I don't know. It's weird that he wouldn't want to tell her about this experience.
Yeah.
Like even not just as like a, not just as a, oh, it was so cool, more like a, this was something I experienced and this is how I
Right.
felt about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that he wouldn't feel maybe comfortable enough sharing that with her.
Like it just feels like maybe they're not as close as they think they are.
Yeah.
Because
Also-
to me, like if someone's my boyfriend, it means I pretty much know what they're doing at any given moment, and not in a creepy way, but like even long distance, it's like, oh, okay, I know you're going to a party tonight, or I know, generally what you're doing at any given time of the day, especially if you're in person. But like, I don't know, like
Well,
it
I
just
was,
feels like
like-
it was hidden.
maybe he tried it, and then since he didn't really like go back to it, he just forgot about it and didn't think about it.
Mhm.
Like it's she said she heard from a friend, like maybe it was just off his mind and it just hadn't
If
occurred
he
to
did
him.
think about it, maybe they weren't together. So
Yeah. But is she an asshole for having that reaction?
I think her reaction was a little strong, but I think a reaction is justified.
Yeah.
I think her reaction's justified. Like this is only what she said right when she found out. So like I can see you feeling like something was hidden from you or lied about for a reason, and like you shouldn't have to feel like you have to lie to your girlfriend. Like does this mean we're not as close as we are, which I don't think you are. But like I don't know that she should jump to like you probably have other secrets, but like
Yeah.
like she should try to be a little understanding about it, but it depends, I guess, how he approached it too. Like if he was like remorseful or regretful for not telling her, or if he was just like defensive,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think any of them are assholes.
I'm gonna
Either of
stick
them.
with neither.
Yeah. I mean, they both can make improvements. Communication.
exactly.
That's
Like, I
the
feel
answer
like
to all of these. is communication.
He's maybe a mild asshole.
I mean, even her reaction would make her maybe or just petty at least initially, and then
Yeah.
probably just would cool down eventually and be like, okay. Does it say was the writer voted an asshole or not? Because on mine it says.
They seem to say that he's the asshole.
Really?
They say doesn't matter what you did it bad, and you hate it because you knew she wouldn't approve. Now she found out from a friend, so she doesn't know what you're hiding from her anymore. Can you see how that might be fair?
But also, even if he was the type of person to do cocaine, people change during relationships. So maybe he's like not that person anymore at all, and that's maybe why he thought it just wasn't even important to bring up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I totally though get like how she's saying that she's more mad now than she would have been if he had just told her initially.
yes.
Yeah.
I think the
That
friend is an
true.
asshole.
You
I
should
think
just come clean. Like,
I think the friend is an asshole for telling her something
Right.
they shouldn't have. That wasn't really their business. So,
right.
and should have maybe been like, "Hey, have you ever told your girlfriend about the time you did cocaine? Maybe you
Right.
should."
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So no one's an asshole.
Yeah.
All right, McKenna, you want to hit us with one?
Sure. All right. Am I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend that if she prolongs our LDR, I will end the relationship? My girlfriend, 21, and me, 23, and I
Shut up.
Okay. have been together for roughly 5 years now. After 2 years, I moved away to study. I guess went to college. It's roughly a 5-hour ride, but we decided to give it a try. Things weren't always easy, but we managed, and we're super excited for this long distance relationship to finally end sometime this year. My girlfriend actually made me say a few times that when I'm back, we'll move in together. So I thought that this was the plan, and I was excited about it, since being in an LDR for 3 years really sucks. My girlfriend is in her first semester and kind of unhappy. She doesn't want to just study and then start working right after, since that's a boring life. She is now playing with the idea of moving to another country and staying there for maybe about 3 years or something like that. Yesterday was the first time I've ever heard of this idea. I knew that she wanted to travel and maybe go to England for a year, but she has never spoken about going anywhere for longer than a year. Now I really want her to be happy and believe that a relationship that started at such a young age will only last if we can both do what we want to and have no major regrets later on. After she told me of her potential plans, I told her that I don't think I can stay in this relationship if she leaves the country for a few years right after I come back. I told her that I wanted to try an LDR since I believe that 3 years was manageable and we both are young, but 6+ years is too much. If it would be 1 year, then sure, I can manage. But any longer, I just can't, and honestly just don't want to anymore. She told me that I'm an a-hole for telling her that since I had the chance to leave home, but she doesn't get that chance. I totally get her point. I grew a lot by moving away, and I really think it's a great experience. But if I knew that this LDR would last 5, 6, or even more years, then I would not have agreed. We are together for 5 years, but we haven't lived with each other for longer than maybe 1 month at a time. I don't know if this relationship actually can last when we are living together. I don't want to wait until I'm at least 27 to find out if we can actually be good together for good. By then, I want to start talking about kids. I don't want to waste our 20s because we are both stuck in a long distance relationship, especially since this is our first real relationship, which makes this whole thing a lot more difficult already. I really want her to do whatever she thinks she needs to be happy, but I don't want her to be surprised if in the end, the relationship, if I end the relationship after she made the decision. I also don't want to influence her decision by telling her that we won't make another 30+ years in an LDR. But I also think it's only fair that she knows what I think and feel, or am I wrong / an a-hole?
I mean, well, if the boyfriend moving is not an option, like to go with her, and they're not willing to do, if someone's not willing to commit to that time, then it was never going to last anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Like, I agree with him that, like, since she has talked about living abroad for a short term, like 1 year at a time, and he said, like, yeah, I would happily, like, stick this out another year long distance so you can go do this. And then for her to spring on him 3 years is, like, a lot. And I was thinking earlier how she's saying, like, she thinks her life is boring right now because she goes to school and then she goes to work. And like, well, what if when your boyfriend moves in, it doesn't feel boring anymore? Like, you haven't even given living with him a shot, like having him right there in your life a shot. You're just like, no, I'm going to spend 3 years in another country, maybe.
And then what if the girlfriend decides she loves that country and then she stays and he committed to 3 years and that wasn't something that was right? Yeah, Tori, what do you think?
Like a really random length of time. Like, I'm wondering why she's landing on 3 years. Like, is there some sort of program or job or like Peace Corps? Or
Well, if she's in her first semester of college, maybe she's going to finish her first year and then do the last 3 of like undergrad abroad.
somewhere.
That's what she could be
So
doing.
she's probably going for school. Okay.
Yeah, something like that, or whatever. But
It makes sense.
I don't think either of them are assholes.
But yeah,
No, I think the girlfriend is.
If the
For
relation-
3 years out of
I don't
nowhere.
know. She has every right
But
to
I mean,
say
if
what
she's
she wants.
finishing school it's finishing school, and he got to do school abroad.
Yeah.
But
I
I
feel like-
think, wait, let me.
am.
I think that it sounds like the relationship is not as strong as I think, because either it would be worth it to him to try to move with her, or it would be worth it to them to try long distance more.
I think her expanding it from 1 year to maybe 3 years all of a sudden, and him like trying his best to be supportive and like being honest with her about how it makes him feel. I feel like he's totally in the right.
I don't
And
think.
I feel like she's being an a-hole
I don't think
for
either
not
of
even
them-
giving it a shot before deciding to move away for 3 years.
I don't think either of them are an asshole. I just think their relationship is not worth it. If it's not worth it, it's not worth it. Like if it was worth it, you would do it.
Yeah. And I don't think she's an asshole. She's every right to change her mind.
Maybe she's
You know,
just
she
dumb
probably
and
told
doesn't
him
think-
the whole McKenna. She probably was communicating with him that like she was at the second she started considering this, you know, because they have been together for a while. I'm sure they share a lot. And so I don't think she's an asshole. And even her reaction, because she called him an asshole, that was just her first reaction. And they've been together for 5 years, and now he's like, I don't think I can do another 3 years if that's what you decide. I would like to end this relationship. Of course, you're going to call someone an asshole for like being like, hey, we've been together for 5 years, can't do 3 more apart. You know, I would rather break up than do that, you know. And they have both every right to share these things. I don't think anyone's an asshole for this situation.
Yeah. And she said 3 years, but he said this is the first time she said 3. So we don't know if it was like a whim she said 3, or if she's actually like planned this out, you know?
Yeah.
Like, was she just like for like a few years or something? Or was she like, no, I'm going to transfer to the school and do my last 3 years here, you know, like. So I don't think either of them is an asshole, but I don't think their relationship is as strong as they think it is.
Yeah, I think if someone,
Comfortable.
yeah, if they're not willing to commit to any length of time, then it's not gonna work. Okay, cool. I
Serena.
guess you can't see if it says, oh wait, on your thing, can you see what they were voted?
I can't really, because
What?
I don't have an account or the app. I'm just on Google Chrome. But a lot of people are saying he's in the right, according to the comments. But I can't see like overall vote or anything.
Wow, interesting. Everyone's saying he's in the right. I don't.
Because I agree with
Sure.
him when
Like
he,
everyone's saying he's being totally reasonable.
like when he said that because their relationship started young, you can't like hold back on these kinds of things or these opportunities that you only get when you're young, because like
Mhm.
otherwise you're doomed, because you're gonna be regretful and like resentful of that, which is something I put a lot in mine. So like in terms of, are we missing out on things, or you know, holding each other back because we're so focused on this goal of like when the long distance part ends,
Mm.
you know? But
One
so
person
I agree
said
with
they
you on that. That's very smart to be like, I can't hold her back on it, but it's just the question of, does that mean we break up, or does that mean we keep trying?
one person commented, then go with her, you walnut.
That's funny. Go with her, you walnut. Well, it sounds like he has maybe a job, or he just wrapped up school and is like applying to jobs near wherever they're from. So that's
Yeah.
possible. But if it is possible, why wouldn't he?
But he could work remotely pretty much anywhere these days. So,
Well,
It
not
depends
for
on-
some jobs. I couldn't work remotely.
well, yeah, but most jobs, majority of jobs.
I don't
No.
know. There are a lot of physical jobs that you can't work remote for.
Engineering.
Yeah, but if he went to college.
I mean, I don't know. We don't know. He doesn't say.
We don't
so
know.
It must
All right,
not be an
Serena.
option. Okay, so mine's about friendships. I pulled up a friendship one. It is, am I the asshole for not wanting to spend spring break with my long distance best friend? For context, my best friend, 23, who lives in California, and I, 22, in Washington, have been friends since early high school. We've learned how to stay close 2 states away for many years. She's my best friend in the whole world, and we know each other better than anyone else. She's also a high energy person, where I am not as much. It's fun, but not for more than 5 consecutive days. Before learning that I was coming down, she said she had planned to fly up to be with me for the week. We do fly to visit each other once in a while, and she flew up once for a whole week around my birthday to celebrate. Also helped me through a breakup. For my last school spring break, I'm going down to California to visit my sisters, which is also near her. The 3 of us wanted to have a quiet week in the woods, just relaxing, reading, and enjoying nature. 3 sisters like us. Since she wants to see me, she assumed that she's coming to the woods with my sisters and I so that we can spend the week together. I know it would wear the 3 of us out when we just want quiet time, but I do want to spend a day or 2 with her. I understand that since we don't get to see each other in person very often, she wants to get in all the time she can while I'm around. But in the past, that often meant I skipped out on other family things. This sounds bad on paper, but in high school and her first years of college, we were attached at the hip. So it's not unexpected. So my best friend's only spring break plans are to spend time with me, but am I the asshole for only wanting to visit her for a day or 2? What
I
do you guys
think knowing your limits is a good thing. But also, I mean, my best friend and I are long distance, and I didn't expect her to spend her spring break down here on Jekyll with me. Like, no ghost, like,
Well, the writer is saying she's going down to California for spring break, and that's where her best friend lives. And it's
Well, I
really
mean,
near where her best friend lives.
that's what the like knowing your limits part. Like, I say if she knows her and her sisters could stand like 2 days with her, then invite her out for 2 days and just be like, we really just want this solo family bonding time, but we want you around too. So like come out, join us for a couple of days, but we also want sister only time. Like I don't think it's an either or kind of
Yeah, I think
situation.
she just has to be upfront. She's not an asshole for like not wanting the friend there the whole week, but I
Mhm.
think maybe she's an asshole for kind of not being upfront with her about the week, or and I don't know how far in advance this was written, but like the friend could have made other spring break plans, but she's counting on spending her whole spring break with her friend, and she's not. So like, I don't know. Asshole if
yeah.
it's like, you know, like in 2 weeks and now that friend just has no spring break plans like that.
Well, this was posted 23 days ago. So I assume their spring break is happening like kind of now. So the
Yeah.
friend would be getting a pretty late notice.
Yeah.
But I think if anything, it's the friend's fault for lack of communication. If it's her best friend should know that she's not the same high energy person.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think she just really needed to communicate with her way ahead of time
Yeah.
and be
And
like,
just,
hey, maybe just come for like, half the week, 2 days, and then my sisters
And then we'll grab lunch before I fly
and like
home.
blame
Okay.
it on the sisters. Like it's okay. Like if you don't want to be like, I don't want to hang out with you the whole time, be like, oh, my sisters want just some like quiet time. Like it's fine. Always blame it on family. Like it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah, if anything, the friend is an asshole for waiting too long or to waiting too short before the trip was actually happening.
Yeah, but
I'd
not
say-
an asshole for not wanting her friend around the whole time.
Yeah. I'd definitely say they were an asshole if they didn't want to see their friend at all. But since they're like, no, I still want to see them for like a day or 2, because they are near there, but not the whole time. I get that. It is a little, I mean, you don't really hear the friend side of things, but she did fly up for a week for her friend's birthday.
Well, she said they both fly
Yeah,
to see each other every now and then.
that's true. Yeah, I don't, kind of an asshole. I'd be mad if someone changed my spring break plans on me last minute and then I had nothing to do for
Yeah.
5 days.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't.
I'd be mad. I'd be like, I could have gone on a whole nother trip with my other group of friends from school. And now they're all out having fun in Cabo and I'm like here in the apartment or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
kind of an asshole from that perspective, but not the asshole for just wanting some alone time and some friend time. Cool. All right, Tori. Oh, and
My
they were,
vote's
but they
neither,
were,
by the way. My
they were
vote's
voted not the asshole. I can't see what they were voted. But not by us. They were kind of an asshole. But for different reasons.
I feel like for a lot of these, we just need more of the story.
Yeah. And everyone just needs to communicate with everyone they're writing about.
Literally.
So annoying.
Answer to everything. We've been through this on this podcast before.
Just
Communicate.
communicate.
All right. Am I the asshole, long distance relationship, career hungry asshole, or self centered partner? Well, they're both bad. What? Okay. I moved from my partner's job when I was only 22. We moved to a rural town and I supported him while he chased his dream. Last year, I took my dream job back in the city. I was really struggling in the rural town, living solely for my partner's purpose. I needed my own identity and put my career on the back burner. Fast forward to today, my partner has accepted a new job in another, still rural town to be closer to me. He hates living alone. Upon my partner accepting the new job, he told me he knew there would be not as good jobs for me there, so I assumed he would understand that if he was only planning a year there, I would stay at my current job for an additional 6 months to our original 12-month promise, then reassess. We could visit each other more frequently on the weekends. We discussed this when making a decision about accepting the new position, and he seemed on board with the additional 6 months apart, although not ideal. My partner, since accepting the job, has told me I am cruel for even wanting to extend the time frame of our long distance relationship and that I don't love him anymore. For the past 6 months since moving, I have been told I am unloving, awful, and we have no intimacy. Am I being unreasonable to expect that he should be able to understand I need an additional 6 months in my job? As a female, I do have biological pressure and my partner's work requires him to move around a lot. I know if we start a family, I will sacrifice him being home and my job scope will also narrow down to care for the kids, etc., especially if we get assigned away from our hometown. My partner is very vocal about wanting to start a family and get married. Fast forward to now, my partner has told me we have to break up as I have strung him along and given him an indefinite long distance relationship. I feel hurt because I sacrificed the first 4.5 years of our relationship to help support and build him up. Now it's my turn career wise, and I'm apparently cruel and don't love him the way I used to.
The man is the asshole.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
Cruel,
Such an
unloving. Like,
Wow.
and if you know that your family goals, like the way you want your life to turn out, like family, living, career, spouse-wise, whatever, and if they're not matching up at like theirs wasn't, then do you expect to be happy and feel fulfilled in your life later on?
Right. Exactly.
That is crazy. He drags her out to bumfuck Alabama, probably where this is happening, for 4.5 years. And then she goes up to Birmingham to work and live in the city because she wants to do that before she has to settle down and become a mom, which sounds like something she also wants to do. Kind of. She's feeling pressure from it from her boyfriend, but it sounds like something that she's willing to, become a stay-at-home mom and everything. And she just wants to work for right now. But oh my God. You could not expect her to live in a town where there is one McDonald's and a Walmart and like be happy.
Stop describing Mina. That's where our
No, they have
family lives
more
right
restaurants
now.
than that. They have more restaurants than that.
Okay, yeah.
He seems
Yeah.
like it's a very like needy, clingy partner because he
Yeah.
like moved to be closer to her and like expects all this attention and like just expects like too much out of her for what the relationship is right now and not giving enough back.
Yeah.
And
Well,
like, how much closer was closer? Was it not enough?
Right.
Like this,
Just
was
move
it
in with
short,
her.
long? Was it? Could they not live together and each have like a 30-minute commute to work or something, or was it further than that?
it was, well, we don't know.
Or
but
even
Yeah,
like
exactly.
honestly, like live together and both have an hour commute seems preferable to living apart and considering how they're both feeling. You know what I mean?
well, girl, have you seen these gas prices? But they were just able to visit each other more. So he was like just that much closer. I don't know what the city is. If they're in Colorado, for example, Denver is the city. And if he's all the way in some rural town in the southwestern corner, that's a long haul.
Mhm.
That's pretty far.
Or if he's in Gunnison.
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean,
4 hours. Or
Nick came and visited me every week, every single weekend. Or I went up and visited him maybe like 2 or 3 times. I didn't go as much because I usually worked on the weekends and he always had the weekends off.
Wait,
But
was he in Denver? that whole
just
time?
south of Denver. Yeah, he was a camp
Oh.
counselor back like where his parents live.
Oh, are you talking about over the summer?
This was over the summer, yeah.
So I was like, didn't he go to the same school as you?
Yes. 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 So that whole summer, he came and drove 4 hours every weekend. So
Yes.
it's doable.
Yeah,
I
and like
also-
when I was at Disney, Ryan did most of the driving, and now I do most of the driving. Which Disney was like 7 hours, and this is 5 hours from where I am now.
I also noticed, so he said she strung him along. I feel like if anything, he strung her along because she always said she took this job only for a year and then it turned into a year and a half, but like she was gonna like do it and come back and he hasn't made like any compromise.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
originally said like, "Oh, that was fine."
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's not an asshole. He's such an asshole. Oh
He's
my gosh.
horrible.
Don't have kids with him. Then you'll have more just like him.
Like
And
if he
then
wasn't
the
willing
next-
to do the year, then
Yeah. Yeah. Don't have kids with him because then you'll have kids that turn out like him and then their future partners are going to have to deal with the same thing.
yeah.
Don't do that. Don't curse a whole generation.
Alright.
So we're all on the same page. The boyfriend is the a-hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. And tell him why he's wrong so that way he learns.
Right. He probably wouldn't listen. So
Okay.
Sounds like it.
My second one is also related to career. So am I the a-hole for further prolonging a long distance?
Just
No,
say
I just don't
asshole.
like it.
Say
Except
it.
for when I called that boyfriend once.
Say it.
I really felt it.
Big old booty hole.
No. Okay. For further prolonging a long distance relationship for my own career progression. My 26-year-old female significant other and I, a 26-year-old male, have been in a long distance relationship for a year and a half. I took a job on the other side of the country as I was a new grad because I wasn't having any luck finding a job in our city of Melbourne. So I'm guessing it's Melbourne and Perth or something like that.
Or they're in America.
No, they're in Australia.
Florida.
They're in
Yeah, I was like,
Australia.
isn't there in Melbourne, Florida? Oh, they're in
No,
Australia.
it says later on.
Yikes.
It was hard, but my significant other is very career driven and accepted that it would only be for 12 months. Nearing the end of the year, I was offered a promotion that requires working in a very remote area for an additional 6 months. The career progression was fantastic and they doubled my pay. We talked it over and agreed the opportunity is too good to pass up. Now I have been offered another role on another side of the country, being Australia, so 4 hours flight from Melbourne. I told her today that I would visit every month for a week and pay rent so she didn't have to get another housemate. She became agitated and said none of her friends understand how we do it and that she feels we're drifting apart, which perhaps we are, but at the same time, she's not willing to move anywhere because she likes her job, has friends in her city, and couldn't get work anywhere else.
Wait, so the writer is the one who moved to the other side of the country and got the year-long job that turned into an additional longer term promotion, or like 6 month long.
6 months, and now it says another role after
Other
that, like
Okay.
year and a half mark, but it doesn't say if it would be temporary.
So then, and the girlfriend is in Melbourne, other side of Australia, and she wants to stay there.
Yes.
Okay.
And he told her that he would visit every month and pay for a week and pay rent.
Wow. Well, one thing to mention about Australia is that there are not as many airports as America. It's not as easy to travel to the other side of the country and back. When you talk about Western Australia compared to Eastern Australia, it's like you got Perth and that's it. And that is one little tiny dot on the coast of Western Australia. So if they're going somewhere remote, like it's gotta be pretty remote. Like there is one road there.
Like
and
not
one road.
somewhere that you would bring someone to live if they weren't working there.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like a Melbourne, Cairns situation.
Yeah.
Or Darwin.
Probably more remote than that. Like no target in sight, honey.
Somewhere around Darwin could be remote.
Well,
Anyway.
maybe like
Or
3 hours
anywhere in the
outside.
middle of Australia.
I mean, I'm thinking it's just like northwestern. Or
Yeah.
the
Maybe he's a
northern part.
minor. Maybe he's
Can
a
you like let me finish a sentence? You keep
Sorry.
interrupting.
I'm sorry.
I'm thinking it's the northern part of Western Australia because that is like, and even, well, I've read that Bill Bryson book, A Sunburned Country. Did either of you guys read that?
I haven't read it yet.
Well, in one part, he talks about how he was in Western Australia and he was driving to go see. There are these structures of cyanobacteria. I can't remember what they're called, but they're really rare to see in the world. And they're like some of the oldest organisms in the world, I guess, or like these types of structures. Only, hold on, I need to pause and look it up. Shark Bay, Australia. I need to use.
Okay, this person. Okay, so one person replied to this, and one thing they said, to be honest, you're both putting your careers before each other, so maybe that should tell you something about what's more important to you both. And then the author responded, I guess where I'm coming from is that by working away, I'll gain savings to put toward a home deposit. I would now be able to get a job in her city now that I have work experience, but I would take a step back in career and make far less to the competitive job market. Her role only progresses in big cities, while mine is more rewarded for working in rural areas.
Yeah. So if they're both trying to put something ahead of each other, then maybe that's like indicative of the relationship. Maybe it should end. Anyway.
And I
But
think
if
he
he's
has
doing something for their something like further down the road in their relationship,
Mhm.
and he knows like one day he will take that step and move to the city for her because he'll have that home and he won't care that he's making less because he's with her and he had saved up enough money working away.
It sounds like she's not giving up anything for him, though.
Yeah.
He's the one who's like, I mean, she's giving up a relationship that's in person, I guess.
Yeah.
And, you know, she had supported him at first.
Yeah.
But
I get that, but she never like signed up or agreed to move or give up anything. She was in this relationship under the impression that he would be back in a year and things would continue as normal. And that was something she was comfortable with pursuing. And now it's been turned into 2 years. And who knows if he's going to keep extending it. And it's
Yeah.
just like not what she signed up for. And like, I get
Yeah.
that. Like, obviously, yes, it means your relationship is not as strong as you think. Again, if distance is worth it, then it's worth it. And if it's not, it's not.
Yeah.
And if, like she said, she felt like they were drifting apart. And
Yeah.
maybe that's just
Like, it
how
just
the
sounds like
relationship
their
is gonna
goals
go.
don't align. And I get where he's coming from of like, oh, but I could make so much money. And it's like, but at the end of the day, it's money. And like, you're missing on your life right now. Like, you're missing out on being with this relationship. And like, I don't know, maybe it's a job he loves and that's great. But like, if it's a job that he just has because he's like, well, I'll make more money, I might as well stay.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think either of them are assholes or that they're being unreasonable. I mean, maybe, well, we don't know what his, financial situation is. He could have a lot of debt for some reason and be like, I like need this job, to pay off all this stuff, student loans. I don't know how that works in Australia, but I assume it's better than here. But I don't think either of them are assholes. I think they should break up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the best advice I can offer. Break up.
Hmm. I think they're both like in the right, and
Mhm.
their rights just don't work together.
Yeah. And if he ends up moving back to the city a year later, then maybe they can think about it.
Yeah.
But don't, either of them shouldn't be staying in this, like, what's the in-between world called?
Purgatory.
Yeah, they shouldn't be staying
Limbo.
in this relationship purgatory. It should still feel like it's an advancing relationship, even if it's long distance.
Yeah.
So no one's an asshole.
Mm.
Cool.
I mean,
Okay, it's the last one. It's a relationship one. I guess I only had one friendship one. I did have one earlier that it was like, am I the asshole for staying with my significant other for Christmas instead of being with my parents? And I was like, oh. I read it and I was like, you're not an asshole. So I didn't think it would be fun. But anyway, this one. Am I the asshole for not seeing my long distance girlfriend off at the airport? And save your comments at the end because I'm going to give an explanation to how this relates to my situation. I've done a lot of airport drop-offs. Okay, so me, 24-year-old male, and my girlfriend, 32-year-old female. Hold your comments. First of all, the age, but
what was the age again? Sorry.
24 male. Get off your phone, McKenna. 24 male and 32 female.
Okay.
Are long distance. So when we see each other about every 2 months, one of us has usually flown in. It's been really hard throughout COVID, but we've made it work. I also work in a pretty demanding job, working 50 to 60 hours a week. So on the weekend, I like to just do nothing to unwind and find interacting with others to be quite tiring. Same. Anyway, we had spent a really nice time together and I offered to drop her off at the airport so she could catch her flight home. I guess there was a misunderstanding because when I pulled up to like the drop-off point, it says the 5-minute drop-off point, but like 5 minutes, you pull up and they're like, shoot, immediately. I pulled up to the 5-minute drop-off point and she said, aren't you going to come and wave me off at the gate and say goodbye? I told her that I was really tired and I just wanted to go home, unwind, and play some video games. It's too real. Before another long day at work, I told her I loved her and tried to give her a kiss goodbye, but she just left. When I texted her later, she wouldn't reply. She was on a plane. Obviously, she wasn't going to reply. And when she did, she told me she was mad that I didn't bother to see her off at the gate. But I did offer to drop her off when I could have gotten Uber instead when I was really tired. I told her that it was normal to just do a drop off and lots of people do it. Am I the asshole? So my boyfriend and I are long distance. driving would take a day and a half. So we fly to each other. He flies to me, I fly to him. There's been one time where I've actually like parked, and that was when I was picking him up in Boston, and I think it was his first time coming here. And so I like parked, and it was probably like $8 for the first hour or whatever to go in and be like, hi, welcome. But then the rest of the times we've just done the pull up to pick up and then the drop off. Because, for him, if it's his parents' house, it's 45 minutes drive there, 45 minutes back. And then he's probably the next day driving to Gunnison, which is 4 hours home. And then for me, it's an hour and a half from where I live to the Boston airport. So that's a lot of driving. You're in the car together the whole time. I think it's perfectly fine to just do the drop off. What are you going to do? You're going to really go through security with them and sit at the gate with them until
I
they.
don't think you
Like,
can go through security.
Yeah, you can't
unless-
without a ticket, or
unless you go up and get a special ticket, but usually that's only for like if you're with a minor.
I had Nana and Poppy came with me to the gate once, and it was just because I was like 15.
Yeah.
Like, that's what, because I
Like,
was a minor.
They literally could get 10 steps inside with you and wave from security. Like,
Yeah,
not worth it. I'm sorry.
no,
Like,
no. And then they would have to park, and that
yeah.
if you
Probably cost money.
it definitely costs money. At Boston, if you park for over, like if you go over that 1 hour marker, it's automatically $20. And so if you're waiting at the gate with them and waving them off, that could be another 2 hours, which is $40. I don't know. I'm just estimating, but like that's ridiculous. And yeah, I don't think you can go to the gate with someone who's not a minor.
And if they've flown back and forth with each other, how has this not come up before?
Yeah.
Like, why was this time different? Like, unless they planned it and he decided against it at the last minute.
yeah.
But,
Or like they always do it.
That's true. What do they do before? Maybe he usually does just get her an
Maybe they
Uber
usually
or
do it.
something. Maybe they're not that far from the airport that it like.
Or maybe he usually
yeah.
goes in and this time he decided not to.
I don't think so, because then
It's just so weird. Like, I've never gone in. I mean, I've gone in to pick people up sometimes. It's like, yeah, for special occasion, but like I've never gone in when I drop people off.
Yeah.
Last time when Ryan picked me up from the airport, like I was like, what gate are you pulled up in front of? And like I got to where you come out like in the Delta terminal or whatever. And he was there like with the group of people waiting, like who have all the signs. He didn't have a sign.
yeah.
So I was just like, I didn't even know he was there.
Yeah.
And I walked right past him. He was
That's
came
funny.
inside.
Yeah. Well, because whenever those people are there, I like avert eye contact. I'm like, oh, don't look at them.
Yeah.
That's funny though.
But
That's nice.
I do think you should definitely drive them to the airport.
Oh yeah.
Unless there's a reason where it doesn't make sense to, like if you have to get to work or something.
Yeah.
But like if you have time, definitely always drive them to the airport. Like I've always with mine, I didn't have a car through all of my long distance relationship. I was in a city, but I always like went all the way to like the bus station and waited and like basically when you drop them off the airport, you should get out of the car, hug, whatever, and then kind of like stay there and wave until you can't see them anymore.
Mm-hmm. Or if it's too busy, because sometimes it's too busy, you can't get out of the car and hug, or they're gonna get mad at you. I just do the side hug in the seat.
I mean, if you're out of the car, it's usually fine.
Yeah, if it's not busy, you can.
They're not gonna
You can
yell
get
at
out of
you,
the car.
but
Yeah,
it's if you're just sitting there looking parked.
yeah, but yeah, and he did
Without
say
someone getting in or out.
he like did say, I did offer to drop her off when I could have just gotten an Uber instead when I was already really tired.
Yeah,
from, like,
but
a
see,
long-
that's the asshole thing. You should not consider getting an Uber.
But maybe that's what they've been doing, like all the other times. Like maybe they just get each other Ubers.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like has been happening. But instead he was like, I'm gonna go out of my way and like drive you there. And to
Yeah.
her, that was, oh, you're gonna hang out with me at the gate. And
Right.
and that was like, I don't think she should have
It's a
gotten mad at
what
him.
up? Miscommunication.
Yeah, literally, if you had just been like, I'll take you to the drop-off point.
Yeah.
Like, it's still better than an Uber. Depending on how nice the Uber is. But he was voted the asshole on
What?
Reddit. And I think that's so wrong.
That's so wrong.
And also people are stupid because I'm pretty sure,
It's
yeah,
a
you
bunch
can't
of
go to the
people that
gate.
have never done this, that have not used airports that much.
You keep interrupting me. And now all of my one-liners get cut off and the joke dies.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Also, with today's world, they're not standing in a long checkout line for 20 minutes either. Like they're going right to security, which is when you have to leave them. So it's
Mhm.
like,
Yeah, exactly. So
dumb.
not an asshole. I disagree with this. What the people
Girlfriend.
of Reddit decided, highly disagree. I don't really think, I think she overreacted, but I don't really think she was.
I mean,
wrong.
I would say, just for the sake of, is she or is she not? She is. Not like a major one, but like a little bit.
I mean, it's rude of her to have gotten mad when it seems like he did more than either of them usually do.
Yeah. Like it's one thing to be like maybe disappointed because you thought this one thing was gonna happen, but another thing to like be actually mad about it. Oh, I just got a milkshake delivery.
What the heck? How'd you do that?
Thank
Same.
you.
Remember when I would come home, like I would fly home from school, and mom and dad would be waiting by the baggage claim?
You know,
Or
they
one
would
of
always
them,
go inside. I'm like,
yeah, one of them would go, oh, I loved it. I was like, and also carry my bag.
Actually, Ryan didn't say McKenna. He poked me, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm about to get kidnapped.
what?
And then I turned around and it was him. And I was like,
That's a very good initial reaction, though.
Yeah.
That's a very good initial reaction. Because Atlanta Airport, girl. Mm-mm. Okay.
All right.
Are we assholes?
Probably.
Probably. We are a little judgmental tonight, but people posted this to be judged. So
Exactly. They're asking for it.
they're asking for it. We're providing. We're providers.
Providing with good experience.
Yeah, I think since so many of like these people's answers were different than ours, I don't know. I feel like we were correct.
Agreed.
no, I feel like they probably weren't in a long distance relationship and don't know what it's like.
That's what I'm saying, is like we actually have the perspective of those relationships. So
Yeah. So we're in the right.
Especially since we were mostly in agreement.
and it's not like we were like long distance relationships where like we went to schools 2 hour away from each other. Like, no. We're talking like half a country apart,
Yeah.
different states.
I wish we had time to just like pour through the comments because I'm sure there's some misogynistic shit in there and I just want to read it. But
All right.
okay. All right. Thank you everyone for listening. If you like this Am I the Asshole episode, let us know in the comments or by liking this video or leaving a good review. And we will do more like this gladly.
Maybe we'll focus on sisters or family in general or something totally different.
Simply Podlogical just did an Am I the Asshole Sisters edition. That was really good. Go listen to them. Next week, I want us to go through our old Facebook posts.
Mine are gonna be the worst, I'm sure.
No way.
No, mine are bad. I can't spell.
13-year-old
I was on Facebook in the era when you would like continue, like you'd be like, Tori Butler is going to school.
I
said
was all caps, a dozen exclamation points, inside jokes that nobody will get except for one or two other people.
you still do that.
I don't post.
on Snapchat, you're like, did I have to pack a dinner to sit by the manatee statue after going to tumbling? Yes, I did. And it's like, McKenna, nobody understands what you're saying.
Tori, you could probably, oh no, it would be gone right now. It was last night.
Oh my God. But no, I couldn't spell. I would be like, I'm so bored, would be some of my posts. Or I definitely spelled awkward, like OCKWARD or something. I was dumb and 11. So yeah, I hope we do that. Okay, that's it. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this week's Long Distance Sisters. Be sure to subscribe for more episodes and leave a good review.
And check out the video version on our YouTube channel.
You can find all of our other social media information in the description.
Talk to you later.
Bye.